that's right. For some reason, it's not showing my thingy. Hang on. Interesting. It's not showing Factorio at all. Well, let's fix that, shall we?
And we're gonna name this Factoria. Factorio.
Add. Specific. Factorio. Must match. Done. Way too big. Blork. There we go. Okay. There. Now it should be working. Oh, hang on. I need, there we go. Cool. Alright. Hey, Nick, this is a new map. This is a brand new map. Let me explain. Tiny island, little horseshoe island. Very limited resources, okay? The basis of this world is I only have like 5,000 of my top resource, and that's it. Meaning this is a quarry world where I'm going to have to rely on quarries for my resources as well as a bunch of other stuff. So, kind of cool. We also have the Yokai industries as well as dark matter replicators and what's the other big one? NP utils. So we've got like 2 or 3 major game mods in, plus the normal stuff. Now for this one, hang on, I gotta find my little bitty patch of iron here. Nice, okay. But yeah, this is a new map, brand new. I built it today. I added, there's a new mod called the Islands. What's it called? Islands World? Something like that, I think is the name of the mod. And what it does is it allows the... So island generally starts you with one island, and then the next island is super far away if there are any other islands, because it's called islands, not islands. So like you have a very limited area to work with. This one, they're like, you can't see, but there's an island here, there's an island up here, there's an island over here, and they're all full of enemies. So I have maxed out enemies, which is going to be fun, right? Hang on, I gotta me over there a little bit. My webcam angle is always really weird, and I can never get it to sit flat, but whatever. Whatevs. Perfect. But anyway, so that's the intent of this one. This one's going to be pretty funny, pretty silly, pretty hard. Should be fun. So basically, I have enough starting resources to basically force some, oh, that's the other thing. I have timed technology on. That's the whole sci-fi feel of this map type. Is basically, it's like there's going to be a bunch of sci-fi stuff. There's going to be a bunch of, I think I need 20 stone. So basically, it's going to be like, it's going to be very sci-fi feeling. We're going to have lots of like vehicles that can traverse the water. It's going to be pretty cool. Hang on one second. I actually, sorry, there's a couple groups I'm trying to get away from. A couple musical artists I'm trying to get away from, just because they're not ones that I necessarily care for anymore. Now this one in particular is funny because it's a big horseshoe style map where the starting areas are really far away from each other. So like, so here's our copper area. And the copper area is way down there. And then iron is way over here, and then coal is way up here, and then stone's over here. It's this giant horseshoe island. Lots of space, but no resources. And this one is nice because we actually have the higher space. It's going to give us more options. I was testing this idea out with another world yesterday and today, last night and this morning, and it looked like it would work. I just never put it into production. The thing is, I can that and snag that. Yeah, this is where it's gonna get weird, because it's like... Do I want to set up my power station up here? I mean, I might as well. It's probably where it's gonna end up anyway. Alright, so we need... I have one pump. And then I need a bunch of copper. But yeah, super fun idea, and it's something that I've done in the past that I really enjoy. It's much different than the standard Minecraft experience. The standard Minecraft experience is very like, this feels a lot more like a Sky Factory per se, like a Minecraft Sky Factory versus a normal world. This is one where you start off with very little, and then it's like, okay, so now I need to research this, and then now I need to build this, and it's like, so it's very like piece to piece to piece that eventually turn into full-blown systems that auto-run themselves. But you don't immediately just build a bus, because you can't. Not really. Building a bus is relatively unrealistic to do on something like this. Certain songs are just really loud. Like, that's really loud. Holy cow. Trying to bring me my mic. Bring my mic out here. The idea is that the closer you have your mic to your actual face, it's gonna be loud for a sec, I apologize. The closer you can bring the mic to your face, the quieter you can speak into it and still have everyone hear you. So like if I bring my mic, come on, there we go. So like if I do basically that, then I can speak quietly and you can hear me just fine, which is cool. So, really loud song? That's what I was thinking. Hang on, in theory I can go... Edit. Is that better? I actually reached in and lowered the sound of that song. Is that better? Or is it now really quiet? Is that better? Okay. As long as it's better, we'll take it. Okay, so something about this mod set. Timed technology makes it so that research is really expensive. Or the power is expensive. The time frame is typically fairly close to the same. I think one of mine makes it... Oh no, mine might be exactly the same right now. There's no increase in time at all. Okay, well, it means technology, as far as the science goes, will be really easy. It'll be getting the actual resources that'll be the hard part. Alright, so we're going to go one right there. I need 2 more. My goal is to go through my music and fix all of that, because I know there are a couple songs that are really loud compared to the rest. And then I know there's also a couple that are really quiet compared to the rest, and I'm trying to work on that. So the idea behind this mod pack and mod set that I'm using is it adds a couple features. The one being that all of our research is automated, and then we have dark matter involved, so a lot of our production will be free, quote unquote, free. So for example, let's see here. No, is it through steel? Steel. Here it is. Okay, so basically once we hit replication, okay, once we hit replication, we can then have our replicators replicate basic resources. So just like the quarries, we can use the replicators to create basic ores, basic resources, kind of a thing. For example, iron, copper, uranium, oil. Oil is going to be a key one because oil otherwise is almost impossible to get. And because it's time technology, we're not bound by technology or by resources to then further our technology. The biggest issue I had with my other worlds that I was doing was I had a lot of fun. They were great worlds, but what would happen was I'd be playing and I'd go, all right, I'm ready to do whatever technology, and I'd go, oh, I can't automate, because like I had other mods installed, not dark matter yet, that would allow me to do certain processes, and I was like, sweet, I can do whatever, right? I'm like, I can do such and such process, and I was super excited for it. And then I'd go to do it, and I'd go, oh, to start, like for example, bioindustries, you have to have 10 fertilizer to start your first process to generate oil yourself. Like you can create an algae biomass that you then use to make more oil to then process into oil, but it takes 10 algae, or it takes 10 fertilizer to start the process. So it's like you can do it, but you have to have at least 10 fertilizer, which is the equivalent of 5 sulfur or something like that. So you have to process enough oil to get 5 sulfur, and then you can step back and then do it. Oh, which reminds me, I need to drop this here. Oh, and that keeps doing that. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out my microphone. I'm trying to find a spot where I can put it and have it be right here in my face without it being in the way of me and my keyboard. Right now it's coming straight at me, like right there is where my microphone is coming from. I'm curious if I might be able to like just slide it over. The problem is it's in the way of me typing, so like if I need both my hands, I smack the mic with this hand when trying to, because like the keyboard's over here, so like I have to like go around or under and then like carefully type and then carefully bring my arm back out. So, oh, okay, so we got this going here, ready to go. The plan is to go for this one immediately. That's going to be our first one. We need iron. Now the way it works is, I believe the way, the way this mod sets it up, science labs are 15 times more energy expensive. So instead of it being like 60 or 90 kilowatts or whatever, it's 900 kilowatts for one cycle. So it's much more expensive. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up harvesting out this little patch just so it's gone. I'll harvest that one so it's gone, harvest that one so it's gone, that one so it's gone, and then copper down on the corner. The idea is we'll just get rid of all of them. As soon as we've gotten rid of all of them, then we'll start automating processes to build everything. How do I already have robots? I have a mod called Faster Start. It starts you off with an armor that gives you night vision, a roboport, and a tiny generator, and then 1 pair of feet. No shields, no weapons. What the heck am I stuck on? There we go. So it's an early start. That way you can run your robots early on. Mainly because there's a lot of very early functions that you don't have access to that are really basic. There we go. Try and get that worked out. I'll probably end up hacking up all these trees too at some point. Now, something interesting though about this mod set, I have the player RPG system involved, which allows you to gain experience as you research and as you fight. Because of the way the time technology works, the RPG system, you gain experience based off of the cycles of your science. So like for example, if we go to our science here, I think this one, for example, would give either 25 experience or 25 times 30 experience for this research. I think it's 25 because as they go up, yeah, 300, 50, 60, 100. I'm looking for a really expensive one, like something nuclear related, like that one, 1500 experience. So your experience is based off of that, but because it's timed, it removes that. So I will only gain experience as I fight. Some pretty good lemonade. So I really enjoy Crystal Light, which is a lemonade company. I really enjoy their lemonades, and one of their lemonades that they have had forever is their Crystal Light lemon. And I usually buy it in powder form and then mix up a pitcher of it. And I just barely found a squirt, one of the little things of squirt juice. And basically you just flip it upside down over your water and just give it 2 or 3 squirts. This one happens to be strawberry lemonade, which is so far pretty good. The issue with most of these squirt drinks is that they have a tendency to have a really weird side flavor to them, which gets kind of nasty. But it just depends on the one. All right. Yeah, see, 900 kilowatts already. So of our 3, 1 lab is using up about 40%. So if I get 1 more lab, it'll be pretty expensive. But the technologies are still the same. So as far as like the time technology, and I think at the very bottom there's a handful of technologies that aren't free. One of the mods doesn't do it, which is fine, because what'll happen is at some point there's dark matter has an option to, and this is actually another type that I used to do, which I really enjoyed. I considered doing it for this run, but this run I'm going to attempt to just do it without, and then if it doesn't work and I get like 30-40 hours in and it just kind of piddles out and I can't do anything, then I'll start another one with the other system. The idea was, and this is actually something that there was a mod I saw that did it, and I thought it was very, very brilliant. The idea is, as you play, the sciences of their mod time out, or like you graduate from sciences. Like, so for example, the idea is you would have, say for example, all of these have their sciences removed. So let's jump way down to the bottom ones. So like for example, there's a mod I saw where you'll get to a certain point in the mod, and then it's like, so like the first early stuff would cost a red and a green, and then when you introduce blue science, red is no longer needed, so now it's just green and blue. So you only need 2 sciences at any given time to do the research. So eventually you get to the point where it's like you're on the really, really advanced stuff in the mod, and it only takes space and only takes science, or utility. Only space and only utility, which in my opinion was brilliant, because it meant once you got past a certain level of the mod, like I wish all mods were designed that way. That way at a certain point you go, red's no longer needed, and you just rip out all the red. And then you swap to something else and you go, oh, now we're doing this. Okay, green is no longer needed, and then you rip out green. So then instead of continuing to dump resources into these low-level sciences, they become obsolete, and you move on to bigger and better sciences. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was a super cool idea. I'm trying to get enough so I can drop 1 more lab real quick. I need 36. I need more. Here, let's do that actually real quick. Alright, so we're gonna... The hardest part about having a big island like this is trying to provide power to all the locations that need it. Alright,
And I need a tiny bit of copper if I can manage. Yeah, and it's already out down there too. Is this one really loud too? At that point, it's just my... I need to just drop all my music. Okay. We're gonna go like that. Just having that will make it much better. Oh dear. We ran out of fuel. Now, ore processing is important because ore processing is a very basic piece to this puzzle here. Ore processing allows me to take... it lets me purify my iron, which gives me an extra 50% output for it. Which early on, especially for this mod set, I need the extra resources early because I only have so much resource anyway, and then it doesn't ever really like become obsolete, which is super helpful. All right. So at this point, I can at least do that. So even if I'm still doing that guy, if I'm still doing a burner mining drill. Oh, let me check that too. Okay, I don't have pollution enabled. Pollution is turned off. Primarily just because it takes extra like processing power to have it on, and we don't need it on for this type of a map. The enemy's evolution is very, very time driven and destruction driven. Like pollution for this mod type is turned down to like 2 anyway. Normally it's like that, like 5 or 10. It's like a third or a quarter as important, which means by the time anything would happen from actual pollution, it'll actually be, I'll be smacking heads, attacking them before then anyway. So it's like, who cares? All right, I need 36. Perfect. So I can get another one going. The idea is to get enough processing going that I can set up some basic resources. And the other fun thing about this type of a mod set is it's designed so that you can technically what's the word, kind of test out of certain things. So like eventually I'll get to the point where I'm not using ores anymore. So like when I get to a certain point with like the dark matter, let me show you for that. It's the circuit one. Dark. There we go. So basically, I can start off processing the resources, right? So it's like, I'll be like, okay, I'm replicating ores. I'm using the quarry. I'm using the replicators. I'm replicating the ores and building, right? Pretty soon after that, though, I go, oh, I'm not making iron ore anymore. I'm just making iron plates. And now I'm just making the plates themselves. And then I might eventually get to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm not even making iron plates anymore. Instead, I'm building circuits. And I'm building the actual circuits using energy instead of ore to process to then create it. And it's cool. The one thing that I ended up doing in one of my worlds, which I really enjoyed, we'll see if I end up doing it again here pretty quick. I need to jack this. We're taking this over to stone because I have a ton of coal, and I need stone. I could technically just get another one, but whatever. Here we go. Just set that on the stone and leave it. Perfect. Oh, what do we need here? We need iron. We need one of those, and then we need one of those. I need more, but that takes more. And it's interesting because with this mod pack, I end up with more of like stations than actual. So like instead of like a bus system, you end up with like stations where it's like this building is producing these resources, and then just has an output. So like you'll have a building just sitting there, and then you just step inside the building, and all that's in the building is like 3 or 4 buildings that are generating using power those resources, dumping them out onto belts, and then shipping them out to the outside where you can click on them. And it's cool because like the one game type that I used to do that I really loved was I would do the dark matter replicators, and then once I had gotten to where a science was no longer the primary function, so like for example, you can't see it with those, let's go down to here. So for example, I would go until every single science that just required red or basic science was done. Once I had done every single one that just required basic, and I was up to green science for every technology, I tore down the red and put up the buildings that auto-generated red science at that point. So instead of spending resources, I was now spending power to get red science. And then once I got to where all of the red and green were gone, and then it was either military or blue or something beyond that, then I would tear down the green maker and throw down just the buildings that created green. You see what I'm doing? So like as I got further and further into it, I slowly replaced it. Eventually you get to the point where you're like, my military is now being built using power instead of resources, which is cool because those are really expensive sciences. Definitely a different way to play, and it's definitely a lot different, which is fine. That's one of the beauties of Factorio, is that you play it how you want to play it. Like that's kind of the point. Like for example, I know people that their priority is to launch as many rockets a minute as possible, or even get to the point where their super base is so huge that they are launching a rocket every like 5 seconds. They're launching another rocket. They have so many silos and so many things being built that they're dumping like every 5 seconds another rocket launches. Like I've seen people that's what they want to do. Personally, I tend to do more of like a scenario, like with what I'm doing here, where it's more of like a Sky Factory feel, where I can like, I have like a certain obstacle where I run out of resources immediately, and then I still have to try and figure out how to make it work. The one on this one, and this is how I set it up. This world is only 2,000 by 2,000, 2,000 up, 2,000 wide. My X and Y is only 2,000. And so the idea is, over time, I'm going to have to wipe out all of the enemies. And then once I've wiped out all the enemies on the entire map, then I can consider that like a conquest win condition, and then be like, okay, this world's done. And that's ultimately what I'm planning for this world, is that I'm going to play this world until I conquest it. Once I've conquested it, then I'll move on. Oh, we're out down here. Let's throw down another mining drill. And the big thing is, once this patch of ore is gone, which is the point, once this patch of ore is gone, then I can rip up this power line and then just produce my resources back near my base. Just as long as I have the resources, I should really use them, you know. 300 in that patch. Not a lot. Not a lot. It doesn't last very long. And ultimately, this one's going to be interesting because I have both water... What's the word? I have both... Is this one really loud again? Yeah, all of his are... Hang on, let me change this real quick. There. A lot of these really, really loud ones, I'm editing the music down so it's not so loud. Some of them are really loud. So I'm going to have a very basic bus system set up here. I need some iron. Still need more iron. Okay. I need more iron. Really ready to be up to more advanced stuff than this, but that's okay. Alright, so we're going to put you here and tell you to create pure carbon. And pure carbon is awesome because it processes coal into something with a higher fuel value. Oh, which reminds me, I don't want you guys using that. I want you guys prioritize picking up this because it burns much slower. So the idea is regular coal has a fuel value of 4 megajoules. The pure carbon has a... It's not telling me. There it is. Pure carbon is 18. So from 4 to 18. Holy crap, that's a lot. That is a very serious increase. What I was going to do is get just like a box to set up. Alright. 23, I can set up another one of those. Let's get one of these. I need to double my production down here just because iron is so slow this early in the game. So like I'll put him there. Build one more drill so I can double it. And it's nice because we'll run through this, we'll harvest this patch. Once this patch is gone, then we'll start producing iron just locally. And then eventually we'll research past the ores, and then we won't care. Which means, actually, let's go like this. I want stone walls first. The idea here being, I have a couple things that I want to set up really quick. Let's see. So, like, I'm just going to run all of that. Oh! That's another thing. So basically, my starting resources are limited and quote-unquote valuable. So because of that, I'm trying to get off of those resources as soon as possible so that I can be getting them from much more renewable sources. Now, I'm only going to be on for about another half an hour today. Mainly, I just wanted to get on because I haven't been on a whole lot this week. I've been studying for a test, and I've been working a lot. They put me back onto swings for a while, which is super annoying, but oh well. The idea is I'm supposed to be working, what's it called? I'm supposed to be working a couple graveyards a week and a couple swings a week, and it looks like they're probably going to be dumping me back onto the other ones for a while, which is like, whatever. But, Stonewalls is about to finish. Okay. See, Stonewalls opens up... Oh, I didn't open it up. Here, let's do this. I want to prioritize solar. Solar energy is super valuable in this game type. And then I need to get a quarry. I really need to get a quarry. I need at least one before I run out of resources. Preferably more than that, but... See, and something interesting here. The quarries are very, Oh, the price isn't too bad. I was playing with, on quote-unquote, the expensive mode on the last world that I was dinking around with when I was like, it's not quite what I want. In the expensive world, a quarry, a level 1 quarry, is 100 copper and 100 iron. In this, which is just normal, it's 60 and 30. But yeah, I'm heading to work here in a couple hours, and my wife wants me to study more for my test before I go. So we're going to be doing this for another half hour, and then go, I'm going to go study, and then I'm going to go to work. Now, mind you, this week I will have a lot more time to be on. My work schedule is pretty good this next week, so I should be around a bunch. Okay, I really want to get that research going. Pardon me. I want you to create coal for now. Then I want another lab. The goal is to expand this to the maximum size and then put the maximum amount of labs down. That way we can be gaining our science as fast as possible. Because as of the moment, I'm basically limited by my science. My resource production is very low, and that's fine. That's kind of a side effect of this game type. So the early game is just kind of me flailing around in the dark while I get some basic processes set up. And then once the basics are set up, then I can expand from there. Okay. Let's drop another one. I'm just sad because the science, if we look at the level here, I'm gaining 0 experience for my researches. It's saying I've done 0 technologies. And it's because none of the technologies are counting. Which means only spawners killed, worms killed, and enemy units killed will contribute to experience. Oops, not that one. Okay, and I already need more. So grab me some of that. It is going, it's just very slow. How much copper do we got? 40? Yeah, definitely want these patches to run out as soon as possible. As soon as they run out, I can then start prioritizing the resources closer. We're at 4 megawatts in our labs. It's ridiculous. We're up to 3.6 megawatts in 4 labs. Now, I'm curious to see because one of my mods adds a different lab type, which is supposed to only be able to research its own science, but where all sciences have had their stuff removed. In theory, the other labs from the other mod will work, in theory. Which, if they do, then it's going to drop from 900 kilowatts back down to the normal amount, and I'll be using the labs from the other mod. So, what I was going to do, and I should have done, and who knows, I might end up going back. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Worst come to worst, because we're only an hour into this world. Worst come to worst, I will restart the exact same world, but make 2 changes to it. What I would do is, I would make it so that labs cost was still the same. So it'd be the 60 kilowatts or whatever, but I would increase the technology time, or the amount. So like, for example, right now our technology is like 30 times 30. If I do it by a factor of 10, then it would be 30 by 300. And so I'd still be able to produce a zillion labs because that'd be super cheap power-wise. But then the number of cycles I would have to do would be more proportionate. And honestly, I could do times 15 if I wanted, and then just have labs cost the normal amount. Like, that would be an appropriate flip versus the way it's set up now. And that would scale better anyway, because then we'll see. We'll have the new labs researched here in a minute. I'm actually on my way to those labs is what we're working on at the moment. So who knows, maybe when we hit those, if that's what the ratio is, then maybe we can swap back over to it. Or I'll set that up. Because ultimately, this world that you see me playing right now, I'm going to be playing at work tonight, probably, at least for an hour or 2. I'll have some dead time at work, and I'll probably play it. And so while I'm doing that, I'll check it and see what it does. Alright, so I need this one. Yeah, see, it's only 60 kilowatts. And then replicators. Total raw. Let's do that. What's the time? 25 times 60? Okay. 25 times 60. It's a lot with this many labs. I think that would be a smarter way to do it, because I'm pretty sure that any mod that adds any kind of a lab with the time technology will override the fact that time technology makes the normal labs more expensive. So we'll keep that in mind here. Alright, so I made 2, so I need 1 more. I need iron. Let's grab some stone. And honestly, something I've always wanted to do and not been able to do is build a more like campaign-based world. I've tried to do it in the past, and it sort of works. It sort of works, but it sort of just looks dumb at the same time. And so the idea would be, it's like the whole getting asphalt and asphalting your entire thing, and then like rearranging the actual like using landfill to like carve and create your island, and then turn it into like a facility versus a factory. Turn it into like a facility, and then like take over another island somewhere else and do something similar to it. I'd like to do something like that, honestly. I have a lot more fun with that kind of a... It also shows that I've been craving that style of game for a while. And more. We need more money. We need more power. See, and I'm interested because there's a black market. Sorry, I'm umming a lot today. There's a black market mod. Umming has to do with me trying to process information in my head. And some things are easy to process and some things are not. And the deeper a thought goes, sometimes the more I have to think about it and the more ums come out. So, oh well. It happens. It happens, right? Alrighty, we'll get that going. It's interesting, though, because if we look here... Right... These guys. This is a form of, like, trading system. Where, like, for example, I can buy weapons. I can buy and sell resources and get weapons and resources. So, like, I can get to the point where I have, like, I can be buying nuclear bombs, like atomic bombs. Like, I can buy a rocket launcher, buy an atomic bomb, and then I can, like, go nuke an island kind of a thing with it. That is something that will be an option at some point. But this one, it's a little more... I also like it because it lets you buy certain later items. And there's, like, a ratio where it's, like 1 utility science is 4 space coins kind of a thing. It's cool because you can be like, I'm going to take the excess of the 2 basic resources, or like you can say I'm going to take my red and green science and take the excess and then sell them to get the coins, and then use those coins to buy atomic bombs. It's still locked behind a technology wall at that point, but it's an option. Like, you can get to it pretty quick. I just want to get replicators, because if I can get some basic replication going and start replicating iron, then I would set these up to just finish mining out the patches, and then up at my main base I would then start replicating the actual pieces that I need. Man, I can almost do the whole thing in one. Let's do that. Throw down 1 more of you. Then we'll grab 1 of you and a chest to put next to it and just collect the excess. Oops. That. Oh yeah. There's a good chance here in a minute I'm gonna have to change you to tenement because I need Tenement to create the earliest replicators. Yeah, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to flip these, where they're time-based. The amount of cycles that I have to do for a single technology will be way increased, but the cost will be the same. That way, when I'm mixing and matching mods, they won't negatively affect each other. Okay, so replicators, which just unlocked. I need 20 for that. I need iron. I want another. I'm trying to decide if I change something or not, and that's why it's doing this. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, there's a good chance that I might go in and adjust those settings, redo the world and adjust those settings, and then I'll restart the world while I'm at work and catch back up. If this does what I think it's going to do. So something interesting about the quarries actually use half as much power as the mining drills to produce the same amount of resource. In theory. Just up to 10. Good golly. I need 20 for my first replication lab. Which, if my replication lab will count as a normal lab, then I need to go back and redo the world. I'll keep the seed and I'll keep everything that I have. I'll just change that one feature. And what I'll do is I'll get it going, because I've got about 10-12 minutes here to finish this up. Give me more. Okay. So this is a replication lab versus a standard lab. 20, 15, 25. They're technically cheaper than normal labs by a little bit. Alright, so let's try this. Yep. It'll do it for any science. Okay, so I need to redo that. In fact, for the last 10 minutes here, we're actually going to fix that real quick. So we're going to go like this. We're just going to go quit. We're not even going to save it. We're going to go play. No. Mods. No. Settings. Mods. Dark matter. Loaders, helicopters, factory CMO, modular turrets, NP utils, tech tree. Wait, you can say vanilla on the tech tree? That is actually really cool. See, that makes me want to turn off time technology and just see what that looks like. See, I want to change that and just see what it looks like. Okay, quarry. Productivity, yes. Stone as a byproduct, no. Crafting speed, that's fine. Rampant, that's fine. Time technology. Lab power consumption. Multiplier from the base. So times it by 1. Yes. And it was 15. Confirm. Is that going to restart the game? No. It won't let me I hate when they do that. Values out of range. Valid values are 3 through some absurd number. Okay, so 3. Okay. So that there alone will give me, so it's going to be 3 times the amount of, well, and even that it'll prioritize me swapping to those other labs soon, because even just times 3 power is not horrible, not horrendous, like it's a doable amount. Times it by 3, times it by 5, times it by, do I do the full 15 times? Do I do it by 5 and then just allow it to be somewhat cheaper at that point? It didn't save my stuff from my last one. Well, the answer is I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to end the stream here. I'm going to go upstairs, get everything taken care of, and then either while I'm at work or while I'm upstairs working on this, I will figure it out, and then we'll get it set up for the next stream. But we'll do some. It's going to be something to the effect of the technology amount or number of cycles will be increased. And I might end up doing it by 15. Golly, it means the first like 10 technologies are going to be painfully slow, but that's okay. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream here. You guys have a great day. I'll catch you later, and I'll continue to try and I'll get this going and functioning in the background, and then we can I'll give you guys regular updates as I play as how it goes. And also, if you haven't, please jump into the Discord. Follow the link on the Discord. It shouldn't ever expire. It should be an unexpiring link, and it'll let you get into it. And I post pictures for my games on Discord. I post when I'm going live on Discord. All that's there. So anyway, I'm off. You guys have a great day.